Hello and welcome to DB at the Movies, where today we are going to be talking all about Tom Clancy's Without Remorse, a movie starring Michael B. Jordan that just premiered last week on Amazon Prime Video. It's based on the Tom Clancy novel of the same name and just tells the story of John Kelly, played by Michael B. Jordan, who is an ex Navy SEAL Special Forces type that finds himself thrust into a crazy conspiracy after his pregnant wife is killed in an attack on his house that is retaliation for an earlier mission that they show at the start of the movie. And from there, basically he becomes that man with nothing left to lose, that one man army type, where it's his mission to find who did this and who set his family up, or really who set him up that led to his family's death. It's a lot more convoluted than that, as most Tom Clancy based properties tend to be. He's a very, he was a very, I should say, tactical type of writer. There was always, his certain hallmarks, and they're here in this movie, but this is a movie that, is a C or B type of movie that's elevated up based pretty much solely on the performance and charisma of Michael B. Jordan. There is a strong supporting cast. Guy Pearce is very good. Lauren London is way too underused as his wife Pamela. And then Jamie Bell is a CIA agent, and he's always great whenever he pops up in things. For me, the other standout performance is Jodie Turner-Smith, who plays another Navy SEAL officer, and the scenes that she and Michael B. Jordan share are some of the best just because they have such a natural chemistry. But this is a showcase movie for Michael B. Jordan, and it's a smart move, honestly, because this is a chance to see him do something that relies less on his charm and more on just his intensity and his charisma, really. He elevates everything. It doesn't quite hit the levels of like Extraction and some of those other more recent one-man army type of movies, but it does have some cool stuff. The hand-to-hand fight scenes are a lot better to me than the shootouts and those like action set pieces. I really enjoyed all of the hand-to-hand. It had a lot more weight and intensity to it than the shootouts did. Those tended to kind of be a little repetitive, a little one note, and a little too long, honestly. It kind of felt like a video game where you're just running from one level to the next. Like there are a couple sequences in particular where John Kelly has to basically like provide cover and distract and create an exit for his team, and then another one where he's trying to retrieve supplies from a plane crash that feel just kind of like video game levels where you can picture yourself controlling the character and like having to find the pocket of air because you're running out of breath underwater, like something like that. The script might be a little predictable, but again, that's not what you're here for. You're here to watch Michael B. Jordan basically just avenge the death of his family and go on a warpath. And even that is a little convoluted. I thought it was going to be a straightforward, like I said, one man army type movie where you just, they wronged him, they thought he was dead, and he came back and got revenge on the terrorists or the Russians or the whoever it was. But I should have known going into it that because it's Tom Clancy, it's never going to be that easy, because Tom Clancy is a dude who loves his twists and turns, and he loves cover-ups, and he loves betrayals, and this is no different than that. You get a lot of, additional things and over exposition, really, is the best phrase I can think of to describe it. It takes a pretty simple premise into very extraordinary circumstances and a huge conspiracy that just kind of feels rushed by the end of it, because it is only like an hour 40 minutes, hour 50 minutes, and it's such a late in the game type of like, oh, we should probably get to the conspiracy now, that it feels just forced and tacked on. It also feels like this movie is made to be the perfect setup to the next movie. It's really clear that Amazon Studios wanted to like lock Michael B. Jordan in and get a property that they could franchise. And it kind of feels like it's pointing towards another Tom Clancy adaptation going forward. There's a lot of hints at that, and it also ties in pretty nicely to the Jack Ryan series that Amazon's been producing with John Krasinski. So I would not be surprised if they're building towards some sort of like team up or crossover or something like that, because Jodie Turner Smith's character does seem to be related to Greer, Jack Ryan's commanding officer in that show. So it kind of feels like they're laying the groundwork without being too heavy handed with it. I just wouldn't be surprised if, a sequel in a franchise to this wasn't their only end game here. It does feel like they want to really take advantage of the Tom Clancy property that they have. And I mean, that's pretty much it. Lauren London's really underused. She only gets a couple scenes, but it's great to see her after, everything that she had to go through. It was great to see her back, and she does still just have such a natural warmth to her that those scenes are too short. You want to see more of her and Michael B. Jordan. Really, like their chemistry together is just very natural. It's I read that he had personally asked her to join the movie, and that shows. That shows in their relationship on screen. It's not the best movie. I don't know. I try not to assign like grades or stars or anything like that to a movie, but this is it's like the cheesy action type movie. It's just elevated a bit more because you have Michael B. Jordan, who is an A-list, I guess, megastar. I don't know, for lack of a better word, I'll say megastar, and he's just doing what those big movie stars do. They're like, let me take this property, let me make it a franchise, and let me just get to go film a gigantic action movie where all I have to do is be crazy badass. Um, and that's pretty much it. It's worth a stream for sure. If you have Amazon Prime, you're bored, you're looking for something to watch, it's definitely not a terrible way to spend your 2 hours. It just feels like there's a lot that they tried to pack in while also still making sure they left room to world build for a franchise. So I'll be excited to see what they do next, especially with him. It does feel like the type of property that we're going to see him making, maybe another 2 or 3 of these movies, depending on how this one did. But I imagine that this is something where they're going to try to really build it out and make it a huge property for them and for Prime Video. And if you have thoughts on the movie, if you have opinions, let me know what you thought in the comments section. Thank you for watching. If you like the review, it feels really weird to say, it feels dirty, but like, subscribe, any of that cool stuff does help. And thank you for watching. I will see you soon.